Hey guys, long time no see. How you all doing?
Aloha everybody, we're back.
Yeah, please don't get mad at us. It was her idea. She held me at gunpoint, so I had no choice but to go on vacation with her.
Adrian said he missed us, even Noble.
Oh, do you guys recognize me? I'm wondering if you guys recognize me. You know, I must be looking a little bit cleaner to you, everybody. But
yes, looking much more like Noble.
My wife's very happy. She wouldn't kiss me at all. Too much hair, she said. Felt like kissing the dog. We don't even own a dog, so I don't know if she knows that. So.
I didn't say that.
Well, some kind of wild animal with a lot of hair. But
we're like a pine tree.
Pine tree. I am now classified as a tree. Okay. So, yeah, and sorry about, for those of you that follow us on Saturdays on our Hebrew class, I got knocked out Friday afternoon. Body aches, headaches, just the whole 9 yards. I could not get out of bed. I was so sore and so sick. No vomiting, no nausea, but just achy all over. It might have been because I slept without a blanket, or there was not a blanket on me, and the AC was on. And that following morning, I went to check on the cats, and it started to pour and rain, and the rain was cold. And I was out in the backyard with all this rain dropping on me as I was shuffling all my cats from outside to inside the house. And I think that's what contributed to my getting sick.
Poor thing.
But now I'm paying the price. So
thank you for everyone who's been praying for us.
Yeah.
We've been kind of going through some health issues here, but we're all good. And Noble's recovering. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did not want to miss another Stop the Pain program because there's so much information to share. So much good, so much bad. I mean, bad news, bad stuff that's being shot down the pipeline so that we could be aware of, things to watch out for. But so much good information for all of us to take a part of, when it comes to ingesting, dieting, eating stuff that's holistic, organic, antioxidants. I mean, just everything that will help the body stay strong and build its immunities. So
anti-inflammatory.
Oh, anti-inflammatories, yeah. Well, that's where we're at right now. But it's just good to be home. So, who's on the chat line now? Anybody? You know?
Adrian and Tommy.
Adrian and Tommy,
from
all right.
Oz. Tommy Kiefer.
Tommy
Ginger.
Kiefer, right on. Hi, Ginger.
I'm not sure whoever else is signed on since I left the computer.
Why don't you bring it up here?
I could. It's charging right now.
Oh.
But would you like to open in prayer?
No, you can.
Okay. Let's pray, you guys. Dear Father God, we thank you so much for giving us this chance to do ministry together. We ask you, Father, to please bring whoever needs to hear this message today and to just put your healing hand on everyone out there. There's a lot going on physically, emotionally, mentally, and we just ask you, Father, to give everyone peace in the middle of the storm. Thank you for healing us. And we ask all this in Yeshua's name. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, so are we going to be showing the video that you made at the end of the program if people want to stay and watch?
We can. It's
Okay.
about a 9-minute video of summary of our trip. So if you guys want to hang on at the end of class, we'll put that up.
Yeah.
Isaac? Is it
No
ready?
problem, right?
It's okay?
It's on this computer.
It's on
I'm
here.
not sure how to pull it up though. You got
Okay,
to.
well, we'll work it out to how to put it up on so you guys
Yeah.
can watch.
Yeah, but it was a good time of fellowship with her aunt
Yes.
Catherine and her husband Clint. They were gracious hosts. They were, I mean, always took care of us, fed us well, housed us well in their mini mansion. You know, that's one of the sad things about leaving the mainland is that they spoiled us over there. And
Yeah, we were
again,
spoiled.
it was a great time of fellowshipping. Then
Yeah. Then we of course you guys probably saw in Zen's weekly update. We were there with them. My auntie lives about 45 minutes or so from Zen's house, so that was really fun, and got to hang out with Justin, Joy, Eliana,
and
Zen. Then my best friend from college, Susan, drove down from Tennessee to pick us up and drove us to her place just for not even a day, where we hung out with her and her family. And then they took us to the bus station to go to northern Kentucky near Cincinnati to the Ark
Oh.
Experience. That was fun. There's some
Wait,
clips of that.
She's bypassed the most exciting part, the bus experience.
I was trying to
Never
gloss
again
over
am I
that.
going on Greyhound. No. There was a person that was totally intoxicated, fighting with a bus driver. Police had to come. This is even before we started our trip. Man,
I told Isaac to take the video, but I think he was too much in shock to realize what was going on.
so it was not a boring trip.
That was the most exciting part, actually.
No, but we didn't even get to sit together. I mean, in
I felt
airplanes
like I
you can
was
sit
back
together.
at storefront or something, you know.
Oh, they don't know what storefront is. But you know what? She was up there. Isaac was in front of me. I was in the back, next to the toilet. Oh, that smell! I can tell you, what a setup, man. That was not good. But again, after what? How many hours of driving?
After 5 hours.
5 hours of driving, and you know what the worst part? The door for the toilet would never stay shut. It was virtually unlocked and open the whole time. So when the bus turned to the right, the door would open. Bus turned to the left, the door would close. But all the whole time you could smell the aroma. Oh man.
And this is we caught the bus at about 10:30 p.m. and we arrived in Cincinnati at about 5 o'clock a.m. And so this is all in the middle of the night.
All to save a few dollars. That's
It was
it.
It was worth it.
Oh, no, it was not worth it at all. So guess what? I'm planning the next itinerary, not going by Lisa's
We got to see
suggestions.
some hood action going on the bus there.
Oh,
Okay, then the Ark Experience, that was fun. Then we went to Colorado. We hung out with my friends Cynthia and Jim and their family, and we visited my dad and his wife Sandra.
Oh, you just breezing through this. huh?
Very gracious host there. And then we went back to Atlanta for a day and hung out with Justin, Joy, and Eliana. And then we came home, and Allan was there to pick us up. Thank you so much, Allan.
Brother Allan. Man.
And Alan's presenting today. You guys got to hang out because when Noble's done presenting, Allan has a special presentation too. So I'm
Yes.
looking forward to that.
But all in all, it was a very tiring and yet rewarding trip. A good time of fellowship. I got to actually enjoy some parts of the trip, really a lot. And although the bus ride was not one of them. Okay. With that.
You ready? I think
Anything
you're ready
else?
to
Let's see. What are we doing on time? We're doing good on time. We have you know what? This is designated as a 1 hour program. But if we go long, who's going to get mad at us? Oh, Isaac says. He's raising his hand. He'll get mad. That's all right. He's been mad before. He's just a mad child. Okay?
Well, I'm going to go see who's in the chat and
Okay.
get ready to present.
All right.
You okay? Okay. We'll see you guys in the chat.
Okay. Taking over here. Oh, my goodness. Too much fun, though. We had a lot of fun on the trip. And as you can see, we are going to be going to the Mercola website. This is actually dated the day before my birthday, May 14th, when I read this article. And it was really actually something I wanted to share because it resonates with all the things I've been teaching about earlier, and I want to make sure that we have an understanding of what's being done not only to our environment but to us as well, because a lot of times, what we're experiencing, we may have no idea of what's going on. So as you can read, again, Isaac's got it on screen. Let me move my cursor. Are these chemicals part of a depopulation agenda? You know that the New World Order, we did not get to see the Georgia Guidestone. Actually, I didn't care to see it because it's not good news. It's, again, what the New World Order wants to do, and that's reduce the world population. Number one on their list, where God is, you shall have, in the God's Ten Commandments, you shall have no other God before me, right? No other gods before me. God is concerned about who He is and those impersonators. Here, the Georgia Guidestones, we're not worried about impersonators. We're going to kill them all. Because that's our plan, is that we're going to reduce the world population. And guess what? The chemicals that are in a part of our everyday lives is part of that agenda. Bet you didn't know that. If you did, good for you, because you know what? A lot of people don't know it. And we need to actually familiarize ourselves with it, because it is not good news, guys. As you can see, the brief summary, 1992, researchers published data showing the quality of sperm counts in men had been cut nearly in half over the previous 50 years. Cut in half? Nothing like that happens. God created us perfectly. He made us, He knew what He was doing when He made us. So how does our sperm count reduce by 50% in 50 years? That's 1% per year. Okay? So in 2017, again, a systematic review, again, proved this by showing that a 50 to 60% drop in the total sperm count among men in North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand between 1973 and 2011. That's actually 38 years of compilation of data. 38 years. Testosterone has also declined in tandem with lower sperm counts. Go figure though, some guys, they get road rage and they get all angry because they got too much testosterone. So I'm not sure where they've been. But miscarriage rates have also, again, increased. ED, erectile dysfunction, has also increased. That's why Viagra is making a killing. Okay? We can rule out genetics because, again, the decline in sperm count is simply too rapid. It's unheard of. I mean, you think 1% per year is not much. It actually is a lot. Because what, 50 years later, that's 50%, half. Okay? What else? Lifestyle factors that negatively impact the fertility. Again, this is part of our decision making, our lifestyle, and that's obesity, smoking, drinking, I should say binge drinking, and stress. How many of you are affected by any of these things? How many of you are affected by all of them? Not good news. Okay, it's not good news. And lastly, this is in the summary, a great number of chemicals, again, can impact fertility either directly or indirectly. Okay, but the most concerning class are endocrine disrupting chemicals, EDCs. Remember that, okay? An acronym, such as phthalates. Okay, phthalates are one of the responsible culprits for EDCs. Okay, when they disrupt hormones, which also includes sex hormones, it again affects the reproductive function and testosterone. Okay, how many of you have been trying to have children? And I'm not talking to your grandparents. I know you've done your route already. You've done your due diligence. You've raised up your kids. You're saying, just give me the grandchildren. I agree. I'm in that category. But for some of you out there, you guys you're young, you want to have kids, children, or you've been trying to, hasn't been happening. Maybe I can show you some of the reasons why it hasn't been happening. And again, this doesn't pertain to anybody in particular. This is a paper that shows, again, research and data. And again, like the earlier, I'm not sure if Isaac, did you put up the disclosure statement? You should put that up. The disclosure is that we are not medical professionals. never have been, never will be, but doesn't mean that we can't talk about it. Okay, so I just want you guys to know that as far as what's being shared here comes from professionals, okay, in the medical field and researchers. So this is not my information. I'm just sharing information that I got. Again, earlier you saw it. Mercola.com is where you can get all this information. Tons of footnotes at the end. Okay, or I should say end notes, not footnotes, end notes. And you can also always check wherever you see a small number, which is a, again, designation of what end note to look at. This is, again, all substantial and verified. And I want to say it's been verified information. Okay. So moving on, Dr. Shana Swan, okay, who has those nice fancy letters, PhD, behind her name, is a leading environmental and reproductive epidemiologist. Ooh, say that 3 times fast. I'm not. Professor of Environmental Medicine and Public Health at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. You've heard of Mount Sinai before? In New York City. And again, this examines, again, the environmental toxins that's in our world that's affecting our reproductive health. Okay. Let me scroll up. Next page. In 1992, researchers published data, again, showing that for the previous 50 years, sperm counts has been down, by half. That is unbelievable. Okay. It says here the linear regression of data weighted by number of men in each study showed a significant decrease in mean sperm count. It does not mean that the sperm was mean, okay, or nasty, or agile, or volatile. It means mean means a general number, okay? Not like happy sperm counts. There's no such thing as a happy sperm or a mean sperm, all right? But the sperm count from 113 by 10 to the 6 milliliters in 1940 to 66 by 10 to the 6th milliliter in 1990. In other words, the seminal volume, the amount of volume they catch in a cup, from all these guys that were, asked to contribute their sperm so they could be studied. You go into a little room, they got a little Playboy magazine action going inside there. Whatever it takes. And then, they get their sample and say, here you go. Okay, and people do it for a sperm bank, Here they're doing it for data research, but that's all right. I gotta laugh because it's kind of funny. But thank you, gentlemen, for donating your sperm. But, they found out that half of the sperm was left. I was wondering, I wonder if the cup opening was big enough. Maybe they missed the whole cup. Oh, sorry, nurse, it's all on the floor. I'm sorry, I can use that as contaminated. Okay, let me gain my composure. You can tell it's been a while since I've done this show. Okay. I'm snapping out of it. Okay, as male fertility is to some extent correlated with the sperm count from those samples that were caught. It shows an overall reduction, okay, in male fertility, which is not good news, okay, guys. It's not gals and guys, because gals, I'm sure you're wanting to get pregnant. It happens to all of us, okay. So, what's the concern here? The concern is, are humans going extinct? Okay, this is the next category. Dr. Swan was initially skeptical, but she decided to look into it some more. To her amazement, after reviewing again each of the 60 studies included in that 1992 analysis, she could find nothing to indicate that there was a fluke in her findings, okay? It was the most stable trend she'd ever come across, and she spent the next 20 years investigating why human production is going downhill, all right? In 2017, now check this out again, she published a systematic review and meta-regression analysis showing a 50 to 60% drop in total sperm count among men in North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, okay? And this is again between 1973 and 2011, all right? overall, again, these men in these countries had a 52.4% decline in sperm concentration and 59.3% decline in total sperm count. Okay, so when we talk about sperm concentration, that actually means, you know, it's how much sperm is multiplied by the total volume of the ejaculate. So I mean, you could have, you know, a lot of sample in the cup, but only a few sperms swimming around, saying, "Hi Dick, hi Harry, how you guys doing?" Or you could have a lot of sperm, you know, in the same amount of volume in the cup that's crowded. Say, "Hey, watch your elbow, man, you're poking me in the eye." You know, that kind of situation where it's just concentrated really bad. All right. Dr. Swan refers to this shocking 39-year decline as the 1% effect, meaning the cumulative effect of the annual change of just 1% over time. Not only has sperm decreased, but testosterone has also declined in tandem with the lower sperm counts, while miscarriage rates among women and ED among men have been steadily rising. You see the correlation? One is going down, the other is going up. But for the men having ED, it's not rising at all. It's staying down there. That's why the blue pill has been very, very valuable to them. Okay, but again, my wife's gonna give me an earload later on after the show because of my comments. But that's what this show is all about, my comments. Okay. Oh man.
Justin Max said that he loves the backdrop, but it reminds him of a, what did he say? He said it's like we're doing duty of a host of Wheel of Fortune with all the backdrops.
Oh, yes, we will have the wheels shortly. And my hostess, Lisa Vanna White George, will come up here and spin the wheels.
And Tommy Keeper said that that looks like Hawaii.
It looks like Hawaii. Alan and I were trying to figure out where this picture came from, Tommy. Thank you for your input.
Near where they live.
Yep.
The College Coast looking towards Makana.
Ah, all right.
All right. Where they live.
Nice. We're gonna come visit you soon, Tommy. Okay, just letting you know. And Justin Mack, thanks for your input. You're a funny guy too. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Seriously, come on. Family Feud. That's my game. All right, Family Feud. All right. All right. Let's see. Where am I? Okay, so I know you're reading this along with me. So I mean, you probably read to this part. Now let's go on to who or how will we care for the aging baby boomers? That's me and Tommy and Justin. You know, that's us guys. Well, maybe Tommy's not that old. Justin, I don't know. How old are you, Justin? Justin Mack. If I have misclassified you or miscategorized you, I'm sorry. Okay, but historically, the age distribution of the population has looked like a pyramid. In other words, your pyramid is like this. Up on the top is the older senior citizens. Up in the middle is your middle-agers, and then on the bottom is your young children. And that's how the pyramid normally looks. Okay. We no longer have that pyramid now because of the fact that there's been less pregnancies and as before, and so now the pyramid has turned into a light bulb. You know what a light bulb looks like? It's kind of like this. Okay, and the bottom is a narrow base. How will that narrow base of children take care of all these aging adults up on top? See, it's almost like reversing the pyramid in a way. And now they're going to be stuck with us. And you know, if you're not good with your children and your grandchildren, they're going to put you in a home. Okay, they will put you in a home. And if they don't really like you, they're going to stick you outside the home, make you homeless, fend for yourself. Okay, make sure that your children and grandchildren are instilled with the Word of God, so that they know how important it is to honor their mother and father, and in some cases their grandmother and grandfather, because that's what we're called to do. Is honor those that have taken care of the young ones, and now that the young ones are old, do not ship us out, do not put us on a one-way airfare to Hawaii, so that they can live over here in a temperate climate and yet be homeless. That is not how you do it. Although many states have been doing that to Hawaii, and you know, I'm speaking out against that because first of all, it's not right. Second of all, it puts a strain on our economy, you know, because social services will come in and help out those homeless people, you know, and yet aging people should be in their homes, the homes that they raise their kids and their grandkids to live out their lives. I mean, seriously, this is the way God wants it. He planned it this way. In fact, he made a commandment out of it, right? The fifth commandment, you know, you shall honor your mother and father. In other words, don't do to them that you wouldn't do to yourself. Okay? So keep in mind, God knows what's going on. You cannot hide from God. God will, again, exact vengeance and retribution on those people that are doing harm and injury to especially their elder family members. Okay? Let's see, where are we now? It's been a long time. I'm on my soapbox, yeah, guys. Part of the equation is the fact that the spans have gotten longer. Yeah, we're living longer, definitely longer, which is wonderful. But when it comes to supporting the aging population, especially through Social Security and Medicare, in the U.S., for example, the payer, the money coming in is shrinking. In other words, they say that Social Security was supposed to go bankrupt a few years ago. It hasn't yet because I'm not sure why. You know, the government's playing with their numbers. And even Medicare also, it's got to go bankrupt. But it hasn't yet. But it's a matter of time. Same thing with our fiat currency. The good old greenback or dollar that we have in our pocket, that thing's going to be worthless anytime soon. So that's even going to compound the problem even more so. So always consider other alternate means of currency or ways that you can buy and sell even if the currency, our dollar, becomes no good, no more. All right. Another problem is the fact that we won't have the labor force required to keep the economy afloat. That's always good news, right? Not enough people working. Why? Because they're playing their Game Boys, their Xboxes, their PlayStations. I look at my son Isaac. He's unique. He still works and he still plays his PlayStation. So that's good. I'm okay with that. So what is the cause of all of this? Okay. According to Dr. Swan, there are likely a whole host of factors contributing to this reproductive calamity, as she writes. But we can, however, rule out genetics because the decline in sperm count is simply too rapid. In other words, a 50% decline in just 2 generations cannot be attributed to genetics. Impossible. I mean, even Darwin would complain about evolution in that sense. That's not how things evolve. So even though Darwin, or I should say his students, were the major cause of evolution versus Christianity, you know, the creation account, even he would be turning over in his grave when he hears something of 50% decline in 2 generations. Totally unheard of. Okay. So what does it leave us to? Environmental causes can be broadly divided into 2 categories: lifestyle and chemicals. Okay. Now, lifestyle factors that negatively impact fertility include, again, I shared this earlier, obesity, okay, smoking. It doesn't say what kind of smoking, but I'm thinking cigarettes, okay, because the other kind of smoking is not that bad. And binge drinking. What is binge drinking? That means drinking till you're drunk, till you're flat on your face, that you can't recognize the person next to you, that you're throwing up all over the place. I think that's binge drinking, where you continually drink day in, day out, more than one time a day, I'm sure. And then stress. Who does not have stress here? Okay, raise your hand. You can't? Why? Too much stress? I understand. Go figure, right? On the chemical side, okay, we know that there's a great number of chemicals that can impact, again, the fertility, either directly or indirectly. But the most concerning class are endocrine disrupting chemicals. Remember EDC? Endocrine disrupting chemicals, again, disrupts hormones, sex hormones especially, and that is a major player when it comes to the reduction of world population. I mean, yeah, we can blame the elites, Bill Gates and all that, but you know what? Part of it is us also what they've put into the world, our environment. You know, the elites have the best of the best. They don't have to worry about their environments. It's not laced with chemicals, pesticides, etc., etc. But where we live, it is. We have EMFs. We have so many things going against us, and yet, they say that we still have to reduce the world population. Many EDCs will mimic hormones. Oh, isn't that scary, right? I mean, hormones are essential to men and women. You know, testosterone, estrogen, okay. But of course, the chemical doesn't function as a natural hormone does. So whatever that hormone controls won't function well either, okay? In this 2019 report, male infertility and environmental factors, okay? In note number 4, you'll find this at the end. Classically, the EDCs bind to the androgen or estrogen receptor, triggering an agonist or antagonist action. These in turn lead to increased or decreased gene expression of sex-specific genes. And now we got our schools teaching that it's not a him or a her, or his or her. It's a in between. It's a it. Everybody's the same. There's no designation between male and female. I wonder why. Look at this. In addition, EDCs act as a steroidogenic enzyme in the metabolism of hormones. For example, they inhibit the activity of a 5-reductase, which is the most important enzyme in the production of dihydrotestosterone, and hence the regulation of the masculinization of the external genitalia and the prostate. What did I just read? I think what it actually is saying is that the EDCs affects the way we grow, especially if you're, and it's going to cover this later, but how we naturally evolve, how we actually grow into men. Certain man parts do not function or grow the way they're designated to because of all these EDCs that's being ingested or implanted into our bodies, you know. So it's, again, we're being attacked in many areas, but our external genitalia and prostate is being physically attacked in this case. So, oops, what's going on here? All right. Here's another thing. P450 enzymes in the liver that metabolize steroid hormones may be affected. In animal models, EDCs affect hormone receptor levels. In addition to the effect on hormone action, animal experiments suggest that EDCs may also result in epigenetic changes and mRNA levels. mRNA levels. Okay, I did not research that. Sorry, I cannot tell you what mRNA levels are. Shaw suspects, okay, that EDCs are a primary culprit in infertility, in part because we're surrounded by them every day of our lives. We're exposed to them through our food. Listen to this. Our food, our water, personal care products, furniture, building materials, plastics, and much more. We're literally surrounded by them, okay? The utero, okay. The utero exposure to EDCs can drive down fertility, okay? And what does utero mean? As an adjective, it's a woman's uterus. As an adverb, it's a woman's uterus. As an adverb, it's happening before birth. In other words, the most important time of your life is when you're in your mother's womb. It's when you're being developed from the very beginning, when the sperm meets the egg and the DNA starts to work and multiply, and you become who you are because of your parents. Okay. When these building blocks of our reproductive system are laid down, and the exposure to EDCs at this time can wreak havoc on a child's adult reproductive capacity. Since the fetus shares the mother's body, everything that the mother is exposed to, the fetus is exposed to. Something that we already knew, right? If your mom smokes, guess what? You're a smoker. If your mom drinks, guess what? You're a drinker. If your mom shoots up, whatever drug, guess what? You're a druggie also. But now, those are the moms that are doing those kind of things. But what about the moms that are loving, caring, and all they're doing is trying to provide the safest, most nutritious place for their child? And yet, they're eating say for example, a hamburger from McDonald's, which is not good. That thing does not decompose. And they got a drink in a plastic cup, albeit a Coca-Cola, or one of the worst drinks you can have. Sorry about you Coke drinkers, but you know what Coca-Cola does, right? I use it to clean my rusted parts on my car, okay? Yeah, seriously, try it out, okay? Yes, honey.
Ginger brought up a really good point. Not just food, but she said like shampoo, the other items, lotions, all kinds of stuff that have so many chemicals in it that
Yeah.
by design.
Oh yeah, no, I mentioned that personal care products. Thank you, Ginger, you were on it. I'm not there yet, but thank you for being ahead of me, because these personal care products will affect us. The stuff we put on our hair, called shampoo, conditioner, soap, the bar of soap you use to clean with, okay? Underarm deodorant. Oh, check this out. You use the wrong type of underarm deodorant right there next to your lymph glands, your lymph nodes. What do you think you're doing to your lymph nodes? Huh? You gotta check and make sure, that the underarm deodorant, look at the ingredients, check it out, read what it says, find out what each word says, even though they're 12, 14, 18 letters long, find out what they mean, because you know what? That's going to affect you. So thank you, Ginger. Again, what happens in the womb of the mom is crucial to the child, okay? And EDCs are going into the child through who? Through mom. And mom doesn't know better. Mom doesn't realize, that talcum powder is not good for you. Lisa's mom might have been affected by that. She died of ovarian cancer, okay? But, food, even the water. When you drink bottled water, I think it was in episode 14, I talked about microplastics. Microplastics is serious. You cannot see it, but when you drink from a bottle of water, what are you doing? You're putting plastics in your body, which does not degrade in your body, and it collects, much like the ocean collects all our plastic rubbish. And guess what? I mentioned earlier that each month we're consuming a credit card size amount of plastics in our body every month. And that's not only from bottled water, and bottled soda, which is the main culprit, but saran wraps, Ziploc bags, food that you order at the restaurant, they put in a plastic container. Guess what? Microplastics. You cannot see it, but you are ingesting it. Okay? Just to let you know. Am I shocking you? I hope not, because you should have known this already. I shared it in episode 14. But if anything, this should actually cause you to be vigilant in what you're doing with your body, in your lifestyle. Okay? Nobody else can take the blame. We can blame Gates and the elites. Yeah, but God's going to take care of them. But we all are also responsible. We make choices of whether we're going to cook whole organic foods at home or go to the fast food place. And all the fast food places are not good for you, right? It's fast food to the grave. That's what it is. So just keep in mind, I know we'll all break down. We probably want to get a jumbo jack or something, But you know what? If you can cook at home, it'd be a whole lot better and safer. Back to Dr. Swan, okay? As explained in the video, a boy's reproductive system is dependent on a certain level of testosterone for proper development. If the testosterone level is too low, his reproductive system will be impaired to some degree. In short, without sufficient testosterone, the boy's reproductive system will default to female. he will be feminized, or as Shaw describes it, incompletely masculinized. Wow. And you wonder about all the T genders out there. You know, when I say T genders, I'm trying to avoid being cited by YouTube, but you know, and then you see a lot of guys wearing makeup and dresses, and it just makes you wonder, you know, is it their fault, or are they a product of their environment? Sometimes it is, you know, as we're learning. Okay, any questions or comments, guys? Because we're almost done here. I know this is so entrancing. Yes, my life.
You also mentioned, similar to what your brother, Allan, said to do, just take a slice of lemon, you can use that as deodorant.
Ah, yes. Ginger mentioned, just like Brother Allan, using lemon, a slice of lemon, as an underarm deodorant, far safer, far better. You know, when you're eating fish, you're preparing fish, and you're holding fish in your hand. You know, fish has a unique aroma. Not everybody cares for it. But one of the best ways to clean the aroma is using lemon. And then also wiping your hands after the lemon on stainless steel, like your sink or pots and pans. Believe it or not, stainless steel actually cleans your hands as well. But lemon, cannot go wrong with that. You know, do not use the lemon that you use on your underarm to squeeze into your water, though. You might have some extra flavors in there. But then again, if you invite your enemies over and they want lemon water, guess what you're going to do with the lemon first, right?
Make sure you toss that piece of lemon.
All right. Sorry, guys. That just came to mind, okay? I love lemon water. I'm just thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to make the most use out of this lemon, squeeze the rest of it in my cup. Oh, man. Yeah, you can tell I missed this, right, guys? Okay. See the word up there? Phthalates. And you're saying, no, it starts with a P. I did say the P, which is silent. Phthalates, okay, are in everybody, okay? It's like philosophy, okay? Phthalates, it's a slight whizzing by the PH, okay? Dr. Shaw was tipped off to investigate phthalates. And what's a phthalate? Let me click on this here. And you know what? My definition for it is, oh, a salt or ester of phthalic acid. Okay, a salt or ester of phthalic acid. All right. When she started to investigate that, she went to a chemist at the U.S. Centers, the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. I don't trust those guys anyway, CDC. But you know, who noted that these EDCs have been found in everybody, including pregnant women. Okay. Animal studies have shown that when a pregnant mother is fed phthalates in early pregnancy, her male offspring will have smaller and less developed reproductive organs. We were watching a show that Lisa's aunt in Georgia introduced us to. It's called Doc Martin. Doc Martin, okay? And it's not the shoe, because that's what I touched it on, but very, very funny and clean British programming, Doc Martin. But in the second year, I'm not sure, maybe fourth, fifth, or sixth episode, the constable, policeman in the British House, his name was Mark, started ordering all these enhancement or enlargement capsules for what? His reproductive organs, the external genitalia. It was a funny show because he was so concerned about size. He's saying, you know, Doc, I'm not sure if this is the norm, you know, how do I compare against you? And, you know, it talks about all this stuff. It's just funny programming. But, you know, men are always concerned about size, you know. Women say it's not size, it's performance, you know. Well, whatever it is, you know. Well, phthalates. If you're feeling very tiny, you might have had a lot of phthalates when you were an infant, okay? And again, no one to blame, okay? And if you're going to go for the enhancements, they don't work, okay? Just want to let you know. You can't reverse phthalates, all right? So, moving on, let's see. Specifically, phthalates have been, oh, what's going on with my computer? That's funny. Okay. Phthalates have been shown to disrupt the reproductive development of males because they lower testosterone levels, and incomplete male development in animals has now become so prevalent, there's even a name for it. It's called the phthalate syndrome. All right? Now, if you really want to be a mean bully and you're in the gym shower with your classmate in high school, you know, and you can say, whoa, buddy, you got the phthalate syndrome going on over there, huh? Yeah, you could be pretty mean. You know, people probably won't know what you're talking about, but I do not encourage bullying, okay? I do not. Then again, you know, some people will be bullies, and that's just their nature. Animal studies have shown that when a pregnant mother is fed phthalates in early pregnancy, her male offspring will have smaller and less developed reproductive organs. His testicles may not be descended. Do you understand what that means? In China, they have this joke, you know, one hung too low. That's a Chinese proverb for a guy who one testicle drops and the other one doesn't. So one hung too low, okay? That's not the name of the Chinese doctor. That's just a proverb, okay? But in this case here, two of them no hung low. So, I'm sorry. It's just been a while, okay? But the penis may also be smaller, okay? And his anogenital distance, the distance between the anus and the genitals, tend to be shorter. Oh, wow. Who's going to go down there and measure? That's going to be a dirty job for somebody. Nurse, come in here. Take the measurement, nurse. Okay, enough of that. Dr. Shaw was the first to study the anogenital distance. I guess she was down there measuring. Assistant, I don't need a ruler. I need a micro ruler, please. Dr. Shaw, you're pretty good. Getting down to the gritty and the dirty.
Oh my goodness. Who said that fever must have got to you?
I am recovering from a fever. That must be it, Tammy. Thank you. But after taking all those measurements, Dr. Shaw was tired. And she was able to confirm that the phthalate syndrome is occurring in humans as well. Boys born of women with higher levels of phthalic metabolites in their urine, specifically those that lower testosterone, had phthalate syndrome, and the severity was dose dependent. Okay, Dr. Shaw then replicated the study with another set of mothers and their babies and found the same result. The next question then is, does a shorter anogenital distance result in a lower sperm count? So if your measurement is not there, guess what? You know what I mean? You get less, okay? Allan, let me borrow that gift I gave you, please.
Oh my God.
Okay. Now, you know, when we went to the art museum, you know, they had this thing called the Noah's cubit. Okay. Now, this cubit, okay, is the Hebrew long for measured at 20.4 inches. Okay. This is a long cubit. Okay. I can only wonder what she was using to do her measurements with. Probably just the top half, which, you know what I mean? Because anogenital measurements look like they're reducing to a very extraordinarily small number. Okay. Let's see. Guess what, though? When reproductive defects such as one hung too low testicles and defects of the penis, he's also more likely to develop testicular cancer at an earlier age than normal, and he's more likely to be subfertile. Okay. Now, if you recall, you know, the what is that? The bicycling race in France?
Tour de France.
The Tour de France. Thank you, my son. I watch that all the time, believe it or not. But Tour de France champion, declared champion, and then he got all his titles taken away from him because Lance Armstrong had testicular cancer, and he had to fight that. But that wasn't the reason why they took away his trophies. It's because he cheated. He cheated, plain down and simple. He got new blood in his body from blood transfers so that he could race with not tired blood, but very energized blood. And that's how he won all those Tour de France's. I think 5, 6, or 7 of them, something like that. But Lance Armstrong was also fighting testicular cancer, probably because he had no long measurements. But hey, it happens. It happens. So it is Dr. Shaw's professional conclusion that the phthalate exposure in utero is undoubtedly part of the explanation of the decrease in sperm count and fertility. Phthalates, and here's a new word, polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS for short, have also been linked to reduced bone mineral density in male teens, which could also have significant implications later in life. So what are the sources of phthalate exposure? Phthalates are found in plastics. Again, episode 14 of Stop the Pain talks about these plastics, but here's even more information on plastics. Phthalates are what makes the plastic soft and flexible. So whenever you find soft and pliable plastic, you will find phthalates. Okay? Such examples are vinyl clothing, such as raincoats and rubber boots, rubber gloves, anything that's rubber you put on. Plastic shower curtains. Honey, we gotta take down our plastic shower curtains. We got plastic shower curtains. Plastic tubings of all kind. Plastic tubing. You got a fish tank, gets that tubing going down for the air for the fish. Phthalates. Okay? What else is in there? Foods that have been processed through plastic tubing, such as dairy products. The milking machines have plastic tubing. Guess what? Hot dogs are made with meat grinded, and they're run through plastic tubes so that they can go into the skin to form a hot dog. Sausages, you name it. Phthalates. Everything that's a pliable plastic is. Oh yeah. So, but phthalates also increase absorption and help retain scent and odor. So you'll find them also in cosmetics, perfumes, and personal care products. Again, what Ginger was talking about earlier, they're all over. They are all over. Scented household products such as laundry soap and air fresheners. Wow. So what, guys? What do you think? I'm not sure what kind of laundry soap you use, but we don't use the big name brands, Tide, Gain, or whatever. I think one of the safest is OxyClean, though. OxyClean makes a detergent that's oxygenated. So that's actually one of the safer. That's what we use, because we stopped using Tide, Bold, Gain, all those products. Really, you got to read what they're made out of, so you can understand that when you wash your clothes in this, then you dry them, and don't use, if you put in a dryer, don't use those scented sheets, the anti-cling sheets. Guess what? Read what's on that box as well. If you can dry it in the dryer without any of that, or hang dry, you're far safer. But the scented soaps, they still will come on your body, because when your clothes are dry and you put it on, guess what? Oh, it's hot today. I'm sweating. My pores are open, and because it's just so hot. Guess what your pores are absorbing? Whatever's on your clothing. And if you use scented laundry soap, phthalates are going into your body. And the skin is the largest organ on your body. And guess what skin likes to do? It likes to suck up whatever it touches it. All right? You have a nicotine patch or a fentanyl patch, and you put it on your body. Guess what your skin's doing? Sucking it up. Okay? Yeah. Your skin is a sponge. And guess what? That skin brings in whatever, and it goes right into the blood system, and it gets circulated throughout your body. You don't want that. So really watch what you're using for laundry soap, air freshener. I mean, what's that air freshener that we used before? Febreze. Febreze. Man, that was cutting edge. It put Lysol behind. Now I'm thinking, oh shucks, I need to. We stopped using Febreze too.
Oh, and especially, you can tell the story about the Swiffer pads.
Oh.
The chemicals in there that hurts your pets.
Okay. How many of you use Swiffer to clean your floors with? Especially with the wet pads.
Yeah, not the dry and
When you use the wet pads, you're putting chemicals on your floor. This is a true life story. My son, my older son Kyle, and his wife Tiffany, they used to use that all the time to wipe up their floors. And they had two cute small little dogs. Both of them died. The chemicals on the floors. They didn't know it. They didn't know it. See, the thing about it is that we're not meant to know what is a part of our life. What cleaning agents, household agents, personal agents, we use. Everything is meant to destroy us, and they're made by what? What's a big corporation? Like there's top 12 corporations. Johnson Johnson, a Kraft, the big boys. All of them owned by BlackRock. You're saying, what's a BlackRock? I'm gonna actually teach on this next week. But Mercola did a thing on BlackRock, and you're gonna blow your mind. These guys are part of the New World Order. They are the ones that actually own pretty much all the big companies, and the big companies own the smaller companies. So guess what? Whatever the big companies want to put in the products that's owned by the smaller companies and whatnot, they have no say as what goes in. And we're not meant to know this, but I can tell you now, it's not a good story. It is not a good story. And you got to have that relationship with Yeshua, HaMashiach, Jesus, or Christ, because all that's mounted against us, I mean, the odds are really stacked against us. You thought, 50% sperm count was bad. I think the odds are like 99 to 1. We're the 1, okay? But the one thing about being in the 1 percentile is that God loves the underdogs. He helps those that worship Him and love Him. And so I have no doubt that even though we're in the minority and that the big bullies are picking on us and trying to exterminate us, He will redeem us. He will actually come like that knight in shining armor, and He will care for His people. All right? But you got to have a more than nominal Christian life. What do I mean by more than nominal? Wow, I went a whole hour already. Going to church on Sundays does not cut it, guys. You may think you're a Christian once a week, for the whole week. That's not the way God wants it. He wants daily devotion. He wants daily surrender. He wants daily commitment. And when I say daily, I'm not talking about once a day. I'm talking about, hey, try doing that once every hour or once every half hour. A non-nominal commitment to the Lord. Speak to Him as you're going through your day. Much like Hanok, also known as Enoch. Not much is mentioned about him in the Bible, Genesis. But when you read his book, First Enoch, you'll understand why. Because he shares everything he did with the Lord. Every waking moment, every hour of his day was with the Lord. Non-nominal Christian lifestyle. Up to you if you want to risk it. I don't want to. Am I there yet? No. But I'm working my way there because I think God wants that in all of us. And then only those that are really committed will truly get to know what He's all about. And we find that safety and security. Remember, He's our refuge. Okay? That strong castle that protects us. All right? So, going on the list, laundry soap, air fresheners, pesticides. Hey, guess what? Use that can of Raid in your house. Don't. With all that residue, that spray stays there. If you walk on it, guess what? Your feet sucks it up. If you touch it by accident, guess what? Your fingers touch it up. That's not good for the pets either. When you spray Raid and you're trying to kill ants or roaches, just use the old-fashioned style. Okay? Get a slipper. Slap that sucker. Okay? You're scared to get close to it? Have your wife or your husband do it then. Yeah, you wimpy man. Have your wife do it.
You seen me with the slipper?
My wife, she don't hold back. But ever since we got our youngest kitten, who loves cockroaches, oh, Lisa says, let her in the house now. Let her in the room. She can come in where no cat can tread. And now she's welcome because she's a verified cockroach catcher. She's a CC. All right? All right. All right. Moving on, guys. Moving on. I know I've been talking for a long time. But you know what? I miss it. I love it. Dr. Shaw also noted that phthalates are only one class of EDCs. Can you believe that? One class? There are other classes that include phytoestrogens. Okay? You say, what's a phytoestrogen? It's a natural compound found in plants and plant-based products. Okay? It's also found in dioxins. Okay? What's that? Any class of toxic compounds often formed as waste in an industrial process whose molecules contain two benzene rings. Excuse me. Not good. Dioxins. Flame retardants. You know what that is. Phenols. What the heck is a phenol? Phenol is any compound with a hydroxyl group linked directly to a benzene ring. Keep that in mind. Okay, I know it's small up there. That's why I'm reading it out to you guys. But guys, I mean,
There's a study that I looked at back in the 90s. That
loud.
A study that they did back in the 90s with monkeys, exposed them to dioxins, and 100% of the female monkeys got endometriosis within 2 months of being exposed to dioxins.
Dioxins. Okay. You heard that? 100% kill rate for monkeys.
Endometriosis.
Endometriosis.
The females.
And you know all of us, we descend from monkeys, right? That means they're going to kill us all. All right? That's not true? No? Oh, you mean Darwin's wrong? Okay.
This is the ARC experience.
Darwin is wrong. All right? Just want to let you guys know. We're not monkeys. We're apes. Okay. Another class of EDC is PCBs. You got all these letters. You know what? You be good at Hebrew because you're learning letters, okay? What's a PCB? Any class of toxic compound often formed as waste in industrial processes whose molecules contain two benzene rings in which hydrogen atoms have been replaced by chlorine atoms. Oh, that's not good. Jeez. Polyaromatic hydrocarbons. It's also another category. I mean, you look at all these categories. Some of these words you don't even say, I've never heard of that. Just know this, they're out to get us, and they're using everything in the literal dictionary to get us, okay? Phthalates, however, are among the most hazardous for male reproductive health due to their ability to block testosterone. So, there you have it. Joe Rogan also was recently interviewed by Dr. Shaw about this, and his excerpt is included below. Full interview is available on Spotify. Look up Joe Rogan. If you're a Joe Rogan fan and listen to his Spotify program, he talks to Dr. Shaw about this as well. So again, nothing new here. Oh, actually, it's new to me. Maybe not to you, but it's new to me. Phenols increase sex hormones. The phenols, such as bisphenol A, BPA, have the opposite effect in that they make plastic more rigid and hard. Okay, so BPA is what certain plastics are composed of. And you look at the bottom of the bottle, you can actually read the number and the classification. Okay, but BPA is, you notice that a lot of so-called food containers says, or water containers say, not made with BPA anymore, because they figured out this is that this is a hormone. It affects the hormones. Okay, in the human body, they increase the female hormone estrogen, resulting in breast development and flabby midsections. Honey, I know the problem, babe. I know the problem now. Okay? Damn BPAs. It also damages DNA in sperm. I know the other problem too, babe.
That's why Justin Mack just made a point. He said earlier he said it's so important to look for BPA free if we're buying anything that's in
BPA free. Thank you, Justin Mack. Like phthalates, BPA and other bisphenols are extremely pervasive. Why are they pervasive? Because they're found in what? The lining of tin cans. They're found in dental sealants. Hey, visit your dentist and ask him, what'd you put in my mouth, man? You know? They're found in, check this out, non-stick food wrappers. Okay? What's a non-stick food wrapper? Polyfluoroalkyl, I mentioned that earlier, substances are long-lasting chemicals, components of which break down very slowly over time. In other words, these are the plastics you find in the oceans, the plastics that we're probably consuming as microplastics that do not break down in our lifetime anyway. Okay? Yes, Isaac?
So, the only way that plastic can be destroyed is from fire, right?
Fire will destroy, will burn it up, but you'll get those gases that come from burning plastics. So, and you can't put your body on fire,
Yeah.
you know.
I had a thought.
What?
The first time by water, the second by fire.
Oh, oh.
Maybe that's why. Part
Well-
of the reason why.
Isaac's thinking deeply right now. Okay, what else? Hard plastic sippy cups. Oh, isn't that what they use for kids? Sippy cups? Drink from your sippy cup. Come on, baby. Or baby bottles. Guess what? We're feeding our kids these carpeting. You know, it's funny. We've been trying to buy carpet lately, Lisa and I. You know, for our floor here. Twice we've gone down to the store. Twice we said, okay, we're going to buy this. Twice they call us back later and says, oh, I'm sorry, somebody bought the whole roll. In other words, we've actually purchased the carpet and they say, oh, somebody bought it. Twice. Now, if that's not God trying to protect us from carpeting, because you know why? You ever wonder about carpeting? Especially the DuPont Stainmaster carpets. Find out what's in that Stainmaster chemical they put on your carpets. Oh, dude, not good. Not good at all. So actually, we're going to take off our old carpet, which is long overdue, and just put solid wood flooring. Wood, natural wood flooring. So for any of you thinking about buying carpets or you recently bought a carpet, read the label. Yeah, you spent thousands in installation and carpeting. Sorry, I should have mentioned it earlier. So, carpeting, sad case. Personal care products such as shampoos and lotions. Again, we're back to that again. Now, out of all the bad news, here's a little glimmer of hope. The good news, okay? Excuse me. The good news here is that many of the chemicals that are most harmful to reproduction are not persistent, and your body can eliminate them in 4 to 6 hours. Yay, 4 to 6 hours. Sperm production takes about 70 days from start to finish, so over time, a man may be able to reverse some of the damage, provided it's not congenital. The problem, of course, is that most people are exposed to multiple sources 24/7, all day, all week long. So successful detox means that you have to stop taking them in. In other words, start detoxing everything you possibly can. Look at what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're using on your body, what you're using on your house. And now it's a radical way of life. Lisa wants us to move to a cave. Okay? That's getting back to the basics. I will grab her by her hair. I will drag her in the cave and say, come, woman. I'll have my big club with me. I say, you happy now? If you're not happy, I club you. But you know what? She wants it back to the way we was back in the olden days. Oh, Lisa says Hobbit cave. I'm talking caveman cave. But guess what, Lisa? A Hobbit cave is made with building materials. Guess what building materials might have? All of these chemicals, yes.
Well, to find the cave of treasures.
Okay.
underneath it.
Now she's dreaming. She wants to find the Cave of Treasures. Zen sells the book of Cave of Treasures. So she's somewhere else right now. Love her a lot. So another piece of good news is that researchers have shown that if you clean up the environment, excuse me, of the offspring from a toxic, unhealthy rat, normal productive capacity is restored after 3 generations of clean living. Oh, 3 generations. So guess what? Clean up your act, and 3 generations line down the road, your great-great-grandchild will not be contaminated. Ah, gosh. How do you win here in these scenarios? While this is a relatively quick fix for rats, the lifespan for which is only 2 years, it's not quite that simple for humans. 3 generations in human terms is about 75 years. But we can start in that direction, Shaw says, by making sure we, first of all, don't expose children to EDCs, okay, in utero, and B, eliminate further exposure during childhood if the child was exposed to in the utero, okay? That's the promise for our children, is stop it and change it, okay? So if you're a young family out there and you're planning to raise children, I hope you're paying attention. You're going to have to change a lot of things in your life in order to keep them safe. Because now the battle begins, is when they're with you. It's keeping them safe from all these harmful devices. And these devices are, they're sinister. You'll never know how sinister they are. Excuse me, I got a cough. This cold is on its way out, but it's not there yet, guys. Sorry. Forever chemicals in our food and water. Okay, while phthalates and bisphenols are non-persistent, PFASs, a class of chemicals that are pervasive in soil, water, and human bodies, are so persistent they're known as forever chemicals. Yep, that's even longer than our forever love for our spouses or loved ones. Forever chemicals. In Maine, farmers are now blowing the whistle, warning that PFASs on farmland are a slow motion disaster. How do the chemicals get there? While spills and seepage from industrial sites are part of the problem in some areas, the most prevalent source of the contamination is biosolids. You know what that is, right? Poop. Toxic human sludge waste, or waste sludge, which is being marketed as an affordable fertilizer. They're selling human poop as fertilizer. Guess what? All the chemicals in our bodies that go to the poop, they're selling it to put it back in the ground so we can grow food and eat it again. So we're recycling the chemicals that we're already taking in. Frustrating, you know? In 2019, again, Dr. Shaw wrote the EPA and how they have failed in adequately regulating the biosolids industry, thereby allowing massive quantities of toxic materials to be introduced into our food supply. Guess what? When we eat that corn on the cob and it's coming from a farm in Nebraska, you just gotta wonder what kind of fertilizer they're putting in their ground. All right? It's definitely not fulvic acid. Okay, but that's good for you. You can learn more about this from the National News documentary Biosludged above. Again, PFAS accumulate in the soil and is transferred into your food. Proof of this can be seen in food testing, which in 2017 found PFAS chemicals in 10 of the 91 foods tested. 10 out of 91. Wow, that's a lot. So bad news, Tammy. Bad news for me too. Chocolate cake has the highest amount, okay, 250 times above the advisory level or limit for drinking water.
What?
PFAS chemicals are found in chocolate cake 250 times more than in bad water. How's that?
Whoa, what kind of chocolate cake?
It doesn't say, it just says chocolate cake across the board. I guess what? On my birthday in Colorado with Lisa's dad and his wife, she cooked me a German chocolate cake, which I loved and he loved because we love chocolate cake. So I got biosludged, okay? It's not good. Okay, gonna have to change our diet totally. So does that mean I have to eat the yellow or angel's food cake instead of chocolate? Is that better? Good question. I'll let you know the answer. Okay. Nearly half of the meat and fish tested also contain double the advisory limit for water. Leafy greens grown within 10 miles of a PFAS plant also contain very high amounts. So as you might expect, PFASs also accumulate in your body. So just when you think you're eating a wholesome salad, if that salad, if the lettuce or whatever vegetables came from a plant that has high, PFAS content in the ground, so much for eating healthy. Would have been better off eating bacon and bacon grease. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell Lisa I like bacon. So what happens here? Maine, the state of Maine takes action, and I'm just going to go right through this. You can read it on your Mercola, Mercola.com, okay?
Or they can rewind.
Or you can rewind. Oh, I'm actually going through very fast, honey. They're not going to be able to read this.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
yeah, but here, the last paragraph. It's hard to be optimistic when faced with such dire statistics as a 1% reduction in male fertility per year. But if we care about life, we must at least try to turn things around. One step in the right direction would be to eliminate EDCs from common use. And in the meantime, men and women of childbearing age would be wise to take precautions and clear out anything that might expose them to these chemicals in their day-to-day lives before they try to conceive. So for you grandparents out there like me, let's share with our children, with our grandchildren, because they'll be in the childbearing age, and if they really want to start a family of their own, we can at least help them out with some information. How effective will that be? I can't say. But like anything, let's commit it to prayer, put God first, let Him plow the field, and maybe good will come out of it. All right? So I'm going to break here. This is it for me. Sorry, Allan, I took a lot of time out of the day. But you know what?
I think that's good for the food.
It's good information to know. And you know what? I'm going to have Isaac play a commercial and song, and then we'll discuss what we're going to do. Okay? Talk to you later. Or talk to you shortly.
As a child growing up here on the beautiful island of Oahu, I never realized what the Most High would have in store for me. I grew up in a family of educators and graduated at a very young age, pursuing education in every aspect. I was so focused on earning several college degrees that I wasn't paying attention to my health or personal life. And it wasn't until I had been through several surgeries and was in extreme pain that I began to pay attention to my body. I went to so many doctors and medical professionals trying to figure out what was wrong with me. So about 10 years ago, I started writing a book detailing my experiences and hoping that it will help other women and others who are in chronic pain, just so they don't have to go through all the steps and many years that I did and down the trail of prescription medication. I highly recommend this book for anyone who is taking care of someone that's in pain, or who has issues with chronic pain themselves, or who has gone through an abusive relationship that has contributed to their pain. I hope that by sharing my story that others are encouraged to seek the Most High first, and that it is much better to trust in Him than to put your faith in man. Through my experience, I learned that God uses whatever it takes to bring us and to draw us back to Him, and I'm truly grateful for that.
Hey guys, man, I'm tired. Talk about talking for an hour and a half, man. Jeez. Sorry, it went long. And yes, Tammy, I am yodeling. Okay, Ricola. Okay, but I got Brother Allan over here. He's going to be sharing a plant that I've seen all my life. This is pervasive in Hawaii. What is this, Allan?
It's part of the fern family. It's called the Lau'wa'i. Lau'wa'i.
Lau'wa'i,
Yeah.
wow.
So let me share just a little. It's part of the lapa'au, the natural stuff that
Natural
they
healing.
use.
Okay.
So it's called the miley scented fern. Yeah. The Hawaiian name is Lau'wa'i. And its common name is Microsorium scolopendria. So just a little bit about this. It's the fern family. We see it all over the place. And this plant is used commonly as decoration in gardens, and it has a sweet smell, supposedly.
Decoration in gardens. Yeah.
But as part of we've been sharing teas and stuff like
Right.
that. This is also, we can make a tea and it'll help with
You can
certain-
drink this?
So
No way. Wow.
let me share a little bit. It says this herb helps people suffering with stomach problems, colon problems, bowel problems, liver problems, or bladder problems, and to help people who have also gangrene and skin problems as well.
Gangrene,
So there's two ways you can
really?
use it. You can use it as a tea, ingest it, and for an external
As
use
external
too.
also. Well, nice.
So
Nice.
real simple, guys. It's gonna be real fast. What we usually do, we just cut them up like this, peel off the leaves, boil it down.
Okay.
Just break them down, throw it in a pot of water, boil it down for like 10 minutes, strain it through
Colander?
yeah, coffee filter. If there's any
Oh,
particles.
small particles, okay.
And they take in it as a tea.
Wow.
And for skin and outer, using for like
External
I said,
use.
the gangrene and stuff like that, they also incorporate what's called the ihi. The ihi is another, I don't have it here, but it's the ihi. I don't know if you guys can see this picture.
Isaac,
Can you see that?
can you hold it up close?
Yeah.
Isaac, how's it look? Can you read
So
it?
the ihi incorporated with the Lau'wa'i, they use it to make juices and teas, and also for the
Oh.
skin. Yeah. So the ihi looks like a clover, except that instead of growing straight up from the base, it grows outward like a small vine. So you find these things in, like, when you go up in the valleys and stuff. You just gotta recognize it. I think the flower is kind of like a purplish flower. Yeah. So what they would do is incorporate the two, boil it down, and use it as a tea or a juice. Yeah. So people with colon,
Internal
problems,
internal issues.
they can consume these just like all the other things that we've been introducing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is commonly seen all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
People
Would-
grow them in their gardens. They use it for
I would never know that.
landscaping.
Yeah.
But this right here is used as a medicinal purpose as well. So
How good is God, right? He provides for us even in plain sight, and we don't realize it. And yet, one of the many things that God has provided for our healing And I can tell you now, with all the things I've been talking about, we can use some healing.
It's like how the Lord says, every green herb and seed. So I was reading up on this, and you see all these little seeds in
Yeah,
the
the
leaves.
pods, yeah.
Yeah, so something about the seeds in the leaf itself is what helps people with their ingestion. Their yeah.
You see those little spots? That's not freckles. Okay, that's not freckles. This is actually the seeds.
But yeah.
Wow.
Noble wanted to, he's introducing all these different plants and stuff like that. These are just a common plant that we see all over, and I don't know if anybody recognize it, but this is used as part of the Hawaiian, Lau'wa'i, the medicinal plants that they use. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So with listening and learning what you shared with everybody tonight, it's like, man, everything is against us. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
it's kind of discouraging.
It is.
But then yet we gotta just make adjustments. Yeah.
Make adjustments. I mean, it's our decisions, right?
Yeah.
If you want to make changes, that's up to you.
So,
Yeah.
Tammy and Justin are both wondering, can you just eat it like that, or are you more better if you dry it out?
I've never eaten it like that, but I've never eaten it. I never heard anybody eating it.
Yeah,
but
so
we probably could.
I would go with the tea.
Yeah, I would
Let's go with the tea.
But just fresh, or you can dry them out like all the other leaves that we dry out and stuff like that. Yeah, but there's a lot of different plants. It's just trying to get a hold of them. This I picked because it's plentiful. We see it, and a lot of people don't realize that it's useful for as medicine.
Medicinal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much that's it, guys. Real simple.
Yeah.
Sharing what we see and stuff like that.
One more question. Is it available outside of Hawaii, or if people in the mainland would want to order some of this?
I'm not sure. Yeah, the common name for it is here. It says what? Microsorium scolopendria. So it's probably in different places. It's just here at home where we are. It's called the Lau'wa'i. Yeah, and they incorporated with that vine plant. It's called the ihi. So they, every culture had its, their medicine men and stuff like that.
I'll have Lisa type it out so you can get the exact spelling, and you can go to your neighborhood nursery
and you guys
ask them. Find a botanist or somebody and ask them if they have this particular plant. Again, I've always saw this as kind of like a
landscape,
middle
decorative.
Yeah, middle height landscaping thing. That's it. Just green foliage.
But it's all over the place, yeah?
Well, here in Hawaii anyway.
Yeah, we see it. It's all over.
Which would give you a good excuse, Tammy, to come to Hawaii and get some of this.
So that's her plan.
Because we have not met you yet, and we're looking forward to. All right? And I will have the chocolate cake, the red ribbon cake ready, red velvet cake ready for us. Okay? Allan, anything else that we should know?
Well, just with everything that you shared, Noble, I just kind of like to enlighten and encourage all your listeners and stuff, and maybe share a scripture if you don't mind.
Please, by all means.
Can you read, Pastor Noble, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23 for us?
Now, may the God of peace himself sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit, soul, and body be preserved blameless at the coming of our Lord, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ.
I believe the Lord will preserve us even, as we seek Him, yeah? Like you said, in all things pray, yeah?
Yeah.
He's going to preserve His people. We trust in Him, yeah?
Yeah. So as you guys start to contemplate your life-changing decisions in the soaps you use, the cleansers you use, the foods you take in, the avoidance of plastics. God, again, He'll know what we're doing in trying to sustain ourselves, to limit ourselves from getting sick and having to go to the hospital, because the hospital is not a safe place anymore. Just like the womb is not a safe place anymore. Whether it's an abortion or whether it's all these toxins that are being placed in the uterus to begin with. There's no place to hide. And the only place for sanctuary is with the Lord, the God of our forefathers, the God of the scriptures. And I really believe that, if we take care of our temples as much as possible, He'll take care of us as well. He'll meet us more than halfway. So, again, that's what the show's about. Hopefully, it will convince you to make some drastic changes in your lifestyle. Now that you're not full, but you have more knowledge to work with. Again, read. Just read the labels. In anything and everything, read the labels. My favorite salt, vinegar, potato chip, I would get from the Kettle brand, has maltodextrin in it. I was devastated. It's also fried in palm or canola oil, and I was devastated because guess what? I love my salt and vinegar potato chips, but canola oil is a no-no. Maltodextrin is a no-no. You know, again, I shared this before. I'm sharing it with you now. Read anything and everything, especially fried snacks, because you got to see what it's prepared in. I truly believe it. They say that, oh yeah, we cook it in 3 different oils. I believe they're actually cooking it in canola oil because it's the cheapest and most dangerous oil you could have to cook with. It's not even supposed to be ingested. It's supposed to be used to lubricate machines. Okay, not meant for internal, not our internal combustion chamber, which is our bodies. So,
That's why good to cook your own meals, right?
yeah, and you can use the oils that you choose. And the healthy oils again are they're kind of expensive, but your olive oils, your coconut oils, your avocado oils, that group of oils. If it's expensive, it's probably good for you. If it's extra virgin, you know it's extra good for you. Will it make you a virgin? Probably not, because your sperm count is low. Okay, but but it'll definitely help your body, and I'm sure your body will probably thank you later. All right. So don't forget, detoxify, stay clean, stay pure. All right. Anything else, Lisa? You want to add?
No, everything's good. So if you want to
Thank
hang
you
in
for
there,
your patronage.
everybody, we're going to show a quick video of what we did for the past 2 weeks.
Okay. Hey guys, we're gonna say goodbye. So shalom to you all, and we have a 9-minute clip if you want to stay and watch it. But thanks for being here. Again, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Okay, provided I don't get struck down with another illness. All right. Love you all. Take care.
Hi everyone. Just wanted to present something that I've been working on for the past few years. This is my first children's book, and it's also for adults. It's a coloring book. It's called The Firmament. I'm going to show you another close-up of this later on. I just wanted to page through a little bit so you could see some of the work that I've done on it. There's a bunch of pages for coloring. It's based on our true cosmology of a enclosed earth by a dome, as it describes in Genesis chapter 1. And I was inspired to do this book because my mom was also an artist. I have a little dedication to her here on the first page. And she had written quite a few children's books and never really compiled them or put them all together or published them. So after she passed away in 1994, we couldn't find any of the files from any of her work. And I decided, after being an author and writer of curriculum for the Hawaii Public Schools, that it was about time.
And then he, and then once I graduated from college, I was like, I'm just gonna make this home for him.
You're so beautiful,
So like this year,
girl.
I started
So beautiful.
after we were done from college.
Such a little
And I'm so
princess.
proud.
I'm the mule. Oh, that's spooky. That's Hanky on a bad day.
Why did they have a spooky area?
Noah's haunted house.
No, this is now.
I want to go again. I want to go again.
How long did it take to go?
Olivia.
Hard.
Okay. Maybe. Big ones. Well, you notice get different sizes.
Yeah.
Big ones. That's wood like that. Oh, you think?
That road back there that was passed, if you take that road, it would lead us down to that parking lot area that I told you about that we were trying to make toward the other day. That's the one, that would be the way that they would probably go down there and fill a propane tank on the side. Oh, really? They would go down, back down that road and lead in the rest of it.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so, okay, that's where you go down.
Yeah, that would be where we go down. And this indicates that we there's a drop. Pretty sure there was.
See that?
Boulder, Colorado. Today is a very heavy spray day here. Which reminds me of Hawaii.
guys find some cool stuff?
We always just kind of look around. We always take like people that are visiting, and then they always get like a sticker or a magnet or something. But we usually just look.
We are at the food court right now at Body Bar.
Fox City Market, yeah, that's so cool.
Video that one.
Hi.
We ordered that child from the Chinese restaurant.
Oh my gosh! Like that R&B. There you go.
Music is making it good. So that's
Korean Rasta.
Go, baby. Go, baby.
Whoa.
Go, baby. Woo-hoo. Good girl.
She really likes it.
What? I'm still on?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, hope you enjoyed it, guys. Again, as you guys know, we've covered all those states and met all these great people. So probably gonna just say goodnight, and I'm gonna have Isaac bend over so I can measure his epigenital spacing and see if he's affected by all these.
And measure my gooch.
I don't think I need something this big though. From Noble, Lisa, Isaac, and Brother Allan from Kapolei, Hawaii. Shalom.